The road that cut through Millfield County was narrow and dusty, bordered by miles of cornfields and old wire fences. Everyone in town knew everyone else, or at least thought they did. That's why no one paid much attention when Hannah Cole parked her rusted pickup outside the feed store just before sunset. She wore worn boots, faded jeans, and a flannel shirt rolled up at the sleeves. To most people, she looked like every other farm girl who'd grown up hauling hay and fixing broken fences. What they didn't know was that Hannah had a twin. Inside the store, a group of local guys leaned against the counter, laughing too loud. They were regulars, football heroes from high school who'd never left town and never stopped believing the world owed them something. Caleb, the loudest among them, noticed Hannah the moment she walked in. "Well, I'll be damned," he said, nudging his friends. "If it isn't one of the Cole girls." Hannah ignored him, heading straight for the shelves. She needed feed supplements and wanted to get home before dark. Trouble had a way of finding people in Millfield, especially women who didn't play along. Caleb stepped into her path. "Didn't know you were still around," he said, eyes dragging over her. "Thought you'd run off like your sister." Hannah stopped. "Move." "Ooh," another one laughed. "She's got an attitude." Caleb smirked. "What's wrong, Hannah? Still mad everyone likes your twin better?" That stung, but Hannah didn't show it. People always compared her to her sister, Mara, the one who left at 18 and never looked back. The one who sent postcards from places Hannah couldn't pronounce. The one people whispered about without really knowing anything. "I said move," Hannah repeated, voice steady. Caleb leaned closer. "Or what?" For a moment, something flickered in Hannah's eyes. Not fear. Calculation. But then she stepped sideways, letting him pass, and continued toward the counter. She paid, took her bag, and walked out without another word. The guys laughed behind her, satisfied. To them, it was just another small victory. They didn't notice the black SUV parked across the street. Later that night, Hannah was in the barn, tossing feed into troughs, when headlights swept across the yard. She froze, listening. The engine cut. Footsteps followed. Caleb and two of his friends came around the corner, grins sharp in the dim light. "Didn't think you'd be out here all alone," Caleb said. "Figured we'd finish our conversation." Hannah set the bucket down slowly. "You should leave." "Relax," one of them said. "We just want to talk." They moved closer, spreading out. Hannah's pulse quickened, but not the way it used to when she was younger. She glanced toward the house, calculating distance, angles, exits. Then a new sound cut through the night. Tires on gravel. Fast. Controlled. A vehicle slid into the yard and stopped with military precision. The driver's door opened, and a woman stepped out. She looked like Hannah, but sharper. Harder. Her hair was pulled back tight, her posture straight as a blade. She wore plain clothes, but everything about her screamed discipline. "Mara." Hannah breathed. Caleb turned. "Who the hell is that?" Mara Cole walked forward, eyes locked on the three men. "Step away from my sister." Caleb laughed. "And who are you supposed to be?" Mara didn't answer. She took in their stance, their spacing, their weight distribution. In less than a second, she'd assessed all of it. "You've got 5 seconds to leave," she said calmly. One of the guys scoffed. "Or what?" Mara moved. What happened next barely registered as a sequence. She closed the distance in a blur, striking Caleb's throat with the edge of her hand before he could blink. He dropped, gasping. She pivoted, grabbed the second man's wrist, twisted, and drove him face first into the dirt. The third swung wildly and missed. Mara stepped inside the punch and put him down with a single, precise blow. Silence fell, broken only by groans. Hannah stared, stunned. Mara straightened, breathing steady. She looked at her sister and finally smiled. "You okay?" Hannah nodded. "Yeah." Sirens wailed in the distance. Caleb tried to crawl away. Mara placed a boot on his back, pinning him effortlessly. "Don't." The sheriff arrived minutes later, eyes widening at the scene. "What the hell happened here?" Mara reached into her jacket and handed over an ID. The sheriff's face drained of color. "Yes, ma'am," he said instantly. Hannah saw it then, the respect, the fear. "Mara, what is that?" Mara glanced at her sister. "We'll talk later." The men were hauled away, suddenly quiet. Word spread fast in a town like Millfield. By morning, everyone knew something big had happened at the Cole farm. They also knew Mara was back. At the kitchen table, sunlight spilling through the window, Hannah finally asked. "They called you, ma'am. What did you do out there?" Mara took a sip of coffee. "I serve. Have served a long time." "Where?" Mara met her eyes. "Delta Force." Hannah let out a slow breath. "That's real." Mara smiled faintly. "Very." News didn't officially break, but rumors grew teeth. People who'd laughed at Hannah avoided her now. Caleb's friends wouldn't look her in the eye. And when strangers drove by the farm too slowly, they never stopped. One afternoon, Hannah asked, "Why'd you come back now?" Mara looked out at the fields. "Because I heard how they treat you. And because no matter where I go, this is still home." Hannah swallowed. I never told anyone. You didn't have to, Mara said. I know. A week later, a few out-of-town men showed up asking questions, flashing badges Hannah had never seen. Mara spoke to them quietly. Firmly. They left without argument. That night, as cricket sang and the farm settled into silence, Hannah realized something had shifted. The town would never see her the same way again, not because she'd changed, but because the illusion of her weakness was gone. And somewhere deep down, Hannah felt stronger too. Because the bullies hadn't just picked the wrong farm girl. They'd picked the wrong twin. And the legend they'd underestimated had come home.